for you. English is not my first language, so I might mispronounce a few words. I might stutter because I'm also not a professional story reader. I am just here to whisper a story into your ear and help you sleep. Let's start with tonight's story. The Bear of the Warm Flannel. Chapter 1. The Smoothing of the Stone. Inside the cozy cedar cabin lived a bear named Kip. Kip was a wool bear with thick, curly fur, the color of toasted hazelnuts, that felt exactly like a freshly washed fleece blanket. He lived a very quiet life, and his favorite time of the day was right before bed. Every night, Kip would sit by his small, crackling hearth and warm a flat, smooth river stone on the hearthstone. Once the stone was just warm enough, he would wrap it in a piece of soft, worn flannel cloth. He would slowly rub the flannel over the warm stone, smoothing out any dust. Rub, slide, rub, slide, rub, slide, rub, slide. The sound was a soft, dry whisper against the quiet of the room. Shh, the warmth of the stone seeped into his large, padded paws, making his whole body feel loose and heavy and completely relaxed. And that is the end of chapter 1. Today's story is just a slow, comforting, relaxing story, nothing mysterious or suspenseful. Chapter 2. The Tiny Guest. As Kip was polishing his warm stone, he heard a very faint, soft stutter near the window. It was Lumi, a tiny, pale silver moth whose wings were tired from flying through the cool evening mist. Lumi landed gently on the edge of Kip's wooden table, her tiny antenna drooping. "Kip," she whispered, her voice like the rustle of a dry leaf. "The night is so cold and my wings feel too heavy to carry me home." Kip didn't say a word. He moved with incredible slowness, not wanting to startle his tiny guest. He gently placed the warm, flannel-wrapped stone on the table right next to Lumi. The gentle, radiating heat immediately reached her tiny wings. She crawled closer, settling onto the soft flannel, her shivering stopping almost immediately. Kip safely resting on the warm stone, Kip felt the heavy weight of sleep pulling at his own eyelids. The fire in the hearth had died down to a soft, sleepy orange glow. He walked slowly over to his bed, which was a deep wooden frame filled with plush dried moss and covered in 3 heavy hand-woven quilts. He climbed in, the moss giving way under his weight with a soft, settling hush. He pulled the heaviest quilt all the way up to his chin, sealing in the cozy warmth. Outside, a gentle, steady rain began to patter against the cedar bark of his cabin. Drip, patter, drip, patter, drip, patter, drip, patter. Kip closed his eyes, his breathing slowing down to match the steady rhythm of the rain. He let out one last long, peaceful sigh, his mind drifting away into a deep, warm, and perfectly quiet sleep. The stone is warm, the moth is resting, and the curly-furred bear is asleep. Today's story is a bit shorter than usual. No suspense, no exciting actions, no anything. Just a lovely bear helping a moth in his cozy, warm cabin. I hope you enjoyed the story, besties. I'm so happy to be back here reading you stories again. I'm filming this after the semi-final World Cup match. It was intense. I'm sorry to all my lovely English viewers for